my fellow friends. Future of food. Innovations for sustainable and food security, sustainable agriculture and food security. We've got 10 minutes, which isn't much. I don't even want to introduce them because I haven't got enough time. Meghana, Narayan, co-founder Slurrp Farm and Wholesum Foods, and that wonderful gentleman there, Prashant Parameswaran, MD, CEO of Soulfull. Prashant, if I can start with you, millets. Why did millets go out of fashion?
Hi guys. I'm sorry I'm joining virtually, and I'm hoping that the networks will be kind to us today. Well, millets went out of fashion for a simple reason, and I think it was fine at that point. And as long as we realize that it needs to come back, I think we'd be in a good place. Millets went out of fashion because we focused on one thing, which was hunger satisfaction, which was the right thing for us to do at that point. We focused on rice, wheat, and corn, and we forgot about the grains that actually gave us some immense nutrition and also has some large sustainability angles. Hopefully now people understand that it's not just enough to be satisfying hunger, but some satisfying nutrition and sustainability as well.
Said very, very well. And this is a lady who understands a thing or two about millets as well. Two amazing companies, Slurp Farm and Miele as well, millet-based. So you know all about millets. I mean, when did you have your eureka moment when it came to millets?
So, Shoravi and I started this company 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And, we said we want to build a health food company. We want to do this right. We want to do right by kids. And we looked all over the world. We read a lot of journals and a lot of academic research. And of course, the answer lay in our grandmother's kitchen.
Yeah, it always does, doesn't it?
That's exactly right. And, exactly what Prashant said, this sort of the 50s and the 60s, India saw this immense sort of push towards wheat and rice. And millets, which has been grown in our country for tens of thousands of years, has been, had been forgotten. So it's one generation that has changed habit. Now we just have to flip that back and bring that diversity back. So for us, I think really it was, I was fed that as a child by my grandmother. Yeah. It was actually going back and saying, hey, as a mum, what would I want to feed my kid? And the answer was right there.
Yeah, and a thriving business as a part of that. What about the barriers, Prashant? What are the barriers to this adoption of millets in Western diets? You know, here in the UK, for instance, do we know anything about millets? Probably not enough.
So great question and great timing for us, because I believe it's very, very important that as we try and bring millets back into modern day food, be it for India, be it for the Western world, it's very important to realize that food is all about taste, and delivering taste as a very, very important piece. Very glad to let you know, in a couple of months, we'll actually be launching with one of the largest retailers, Tesco, across the UK. And we've actually developed products which are totally palatable, focused on the UK consumer. And then we move into US and Canada as well. So extremely excited about that. And I think the important part is, how do we ensure that we don't lose the focus on food as much as we focus on nutrition and sustainability? So I think if we are able to focus on that and bring it into the day of the life of the consumer, I think we'll be in a very, very good place.
True. You're passionate, Meghana. You're passionate about children's nutrition, health. You're on this amazing mission to have a positive impact on children's across the world, particularly India's nutrition statistics. But you're all about the farmers as well. And I know your view on life is we need to ensure that kids, farmers, and the planet stay healthy. How are you empowering the small farmers and helping build these incredible, sustainable communities?
So, we did a little bit of a calculation to try and understand, what is the water we have saved as a company. We're a little company. We've grown 10x in the past 18, 24 months. Just by moving our but instead of, if we had made our products with wheat or rice, we would have used 400,000 kiloliters more of water.
Yeah.
Right? That means the farmer would have used that much more water, that much more pesticide, all of that. Like millets take sort of literally 2.5 times less water to grow than wheat or rice. and don't require any pesticides to grow. So they're born organic. So these are just grains that are not only good for us, so nutritionally obviously substantially better, but also better for the planet and better for the farmer. I will never forget the first time I looked at a nutrition table for all of the different millets, and one of them I thought there was a typo. I thought the decimal place was in the wrong point, because it said that it had 10 times the amount of calcium of wheat or rice, and it just did not compute.
That blows your mind, doesn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, Prashant, in case you didn't know, Meghana swam for India for 8 years. She has more than 400 national gold medal tables. So she's incredible. And it made me think about superfoods and hardy grains, because there's a bit of an Olympic Games going on. Which one's better? Which one will win the day? So I'm going to put this question to you. What's the opportunity for retailers with millets, given it has to compete against other grains, like Meghana used to compete against the best athletes in India and the world? Can millets compete against other grains and superfoods?
So let me throw something back to you before I answer the question. If you didn't know, so Meghana, as you call it, Meghna, and me stood at the same stall in, I think that was Gulf Food. I can't remember exactly when. I think it was at least 6 to 8 years ago, trying to talk to people in Dubai about millets. So I do know about her swimming, and I think that's what gets all of us excited, because the journey on millets is a long one, and you can't just swim it at 100 meters in a longer marathon, if you will. Just quickly switching over to the retail side, and I think millets, the beauty is it is across the categories. It can go across many categories. So we are actually entering in with the breakfast cereals in muesli. We're moving into granola. We're going into hot oats. A whole of products that are actually designed, like I was mentioning, for the UK consumer, like we've done in the US. Like we've done in India. Sorry. What this really brings, I think, for a retailer is the ability to bring innovation, brands such as us to actually disrupt and bring really disruption into categories, and it can go across various places. Let me give you a small example. It's not that we don't have any, we don't really need any more mueslis that are out there than there are on the shelves. But what we bring is we bring the difference of millets and deliver a pack of punch in terms of its crunch and what the product delivery that comes out to a consumer. So just to give you a sense, who wants to wake up in the morning to a soggy bowl of muesli? You actually want to deliver the crunch. Where do we get the crunch from? From millets. And what does the millets do? It not just gives you great taste, like Meghna mentioned, better for you, better for the planet, and better for the farmer. So it gives you that entire piece. And I think this is where it really starts becoming important, because as consumers are seeking sustainable options, they're also looking at stuff that is, food more than just for their tummy, but for their soul as well. So I think it's that entire piece. It becomes very important, though, for us to be able to communicate, talk to consumers, make them aware of millets, because like in India, people are aware of millets, even though it's a skip generation, if you will. I think in markets like UK, US, Canada, it becomes very important for us to give them a background and tell them that, hey, you know what, this is not just superfoods or selfish foods, but these are foods that are good for you, good for the planet, and good for the environment.
Question to you as you're sitting to my left. How can India and the UK work together to help each other on this important pathway towards sustainable agriculture and innovating in this field?
So I think overall, this focus on regenerative agriculture is, every panel that has, has been talking about exactly that, right? We have to reach net zero by some way or the other, and it's not going to be just one energy transition. It has to be, from what we eat to the way we drive, to the way we heat our homes or cool our homes, all of those things need changes. So I think that it's great. The conversation has begun. Consumers are still not willing to pay for the difference. So I think that that's the journey that I think the next decade is going to bring, and is where companies like us are going to have to innovate 4 times over to be able to deliver at the price and a delicious product, because no one wants to compromise on taste. I think I think companies in the UK have and in the US have worked on quinoa. And I feel now that millets are becoming the forefront with the International Year of Millet being 2023, you will see more innovation definitely coming out of India, but I think from other parts of the world as well.
Well done to our brilliant two guests. It was just too short, wasn't it? They're always too short, these panels, but it's always good to leave the party on a high. Big round of applause for our wonderful panelists. Thank you.